I hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. As you know, I am jumping on here to share some information about my little finches, and I am getting quite a view right now, if I can get this for you, of some woodpeckers out. The finches are right here, and they're looking outside, but we're going to go to the window, see if you can see the chipmunk. Look, there's a chipmunk. If you look at the red tree, right below it, a little birdhouse. There is a woodpecker eating some food, a block of food I put in the side. The woodpecker is bigger than the chipmunk. The chipmunk is sitting in the house, and a blue jay just went up on top of the birdhouse. So why am I showing you that? Because I just want to show you how wildlife together survive. They're all at the same feeder, and they're not fighting at the feeder, but they're at the feeder. So anyway, with that, I just wanted to share with you today this wonderful site that I found that I'm really excited about, because they really talk to you about the finches. And there are some other people out there who I've been listening to, and I'm going to get their names, but one bit of information that I had gotten recently, and I kind of knew, but I want to share with you because it's really interesting about these finches. They're really smart. And that is, so just to a couple of things, and then we'll go to this article. But to re-emphasize, the finch's diet needs to be like 50% seed and then 50% of a variety of the vegetables and fruits that they can eat. And we went down the list, and I wrote it down. And I'm going to get the list and read you the primary items that they can have. Okay. So hi, good morning. Thanks for being with me. Happy Sunday. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I hope this fan is not too loud. I do have the fan on. It's going up to 82 today. That's why I'm still not wearing a sweater and heavy clothes. But these, I'll tell you the foods right now I'm giving the finches. Along with their seed, I'm giving them a bowl with a little bit more seed. They have their seed bowl, and then a bowl with a little more seed, and then I'm giving them a variety of, like a little piece of pear. Today they have sweet potato, banana, and a little carrot, and a little cucumber. So I gave them 4 different things today. Now, you just give them a tiny bit, and if you buy these foods, these are healthy foods, so they're healthy for you too. But these are the foods that they can eat. Yes, they can eat bananas, apples, carrots, and you want to cook these veggies. Spinach, they love spinach. I love spinach. So I went and got another bag, and I cook them that at night. They love it. You just want to cut it up, mesh it up a little bit so they can eat it easily, but they love picking up the little stems of it too. Celery, I haven't gotten that yet for them. Butternut squash, mangoes, melon, pears, peas, pumpkin. I'm going to be cooking them up some pumpkin soon. Sweet potato, they're not crazy about the sweet potato, but I think they weren't crazy about spinach at the beginning either. So I'm just kind of, keep putting a little bit in every day, and every single day. So I gotta be honest with you. Hi Olivia. It says all of the sites are saying clean their cages, at least once a day, or once a day. No, it's saying clean their water in their cages once a day. Can I just tell you, I am cleaning their water 2-3 times a day. And the reason is this, they're little sweethearts. They love to jump in their little bath. Finches, we're talking about finches. We're talking about these little finches. And I'll keep the camera on them a little bit. They love to jump in their water. Now you see I have a little net up there. And they love the swing. Now, I moved one of the bars because they love to fly. And they love to fly up and down. And that's their little foraging behavior. So I noticed the minute I moved that bar, they started to fly, and maybe they'll do it in a minute or two, but you see how little Umi, the little female, is sitting on the little nest there? Now after they've eaten a little bit, yes, thank you, Olivia. After they've eaten a little bit, I wait now for them to eat a little breakfast, and then I put in a little paper towel because I've noticed they love the paper towel. They were pulling it up off the bottom of the cage, and they were kind of flinging it around, like putting it in their water and their food. So this way I want to make sure that they have a couple of hours of eating really well, and then I'm going to put a little piece. Well, mind you, thank you, Olivia. They also have in the side of the cage, which you really can't see right now, and I don't want to disturb them, but it's a tiny little box that I bought specifically for birds, and it's shreds of paper. So they like to take those little shreds out. And you gotta remember they're just babies, but they like to take the shreds out, and like they're building a little nest, or they're honest to God, they're like having little parrots. They really are. I just don't see them as tiny little. Let's see, she's got her, now if you watch carefully, she pulled up a piece, there it is, see how she's holding the paper towel? And now they really do want their nest to be higher up. So my beautiful son is gifting me with a larger cage. So when I get the larger cage, then I will like move like a little house or a little platform up there. But right now they really need that space to be able to fly up and down. Now you don't see them flying right now, but they do fly, and they have enough space right now to fly. So it's important. Now I gotta tell you, I really did not imagine these birds. Let me just put this back up on me for a minute. I did not imagine these birds to be so much like, they are like parrots. I'm just gonna tell you. They're like parrots, big parrots. I mean, yes, no, they swing on the swing. You see them playing with the paper. They rearrange the cage during the day, okay? And you'll see them doing this. So I'll put this back on so you can, oops, sorry about that. Oh, hopefully you're there. There. We'll keep the camera on them while I'm talking. So, okay, let me just hold this up so you can see them. Okay, so this is, and then we'll go to the article. So these are the foods that they can eat. And I'll just repeat this for those of you just coming on board. So the finches, and I imagine this goes for the zebras too. the society finches, okay? They can eat bananas, apples, carrots, spinach, celery, butternut squash, mango, melon, pears. They do like pears. It took them a little while to get used to those. Peas. Yeah, hi, Mishuki. You know what they're singing to? They're answering a bird outside right now. Peas, pumpkins, sweet potato, strawberries, blueberries. And as I was telling some of you in one of the other videos, I put blueberries in there, and they didn't like it, like the sight of the blueberry frightened them. See how he's just flying. See how they fly around? And that's not a huge cage, but we're gonna get them a bigger cage. Raspberries, zucchini, and parsley. I say I've seen two different things about the parsley, to only give them a little bit, and about the same with the broccoli. And oh, and did I give them broccoli? Yes, I did give them broccoli today. They love, love, love broccoli. And but I try to give them a variety every day. Okay, so this is the thing. Let's check out this article. Hold on one second. And if you're thinking of getting finches, oh wait, let me get it. It kind of moved on me here. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so let me just hold this so you can see it. Okay, so well, that might be too much. There we go. You get a little bit of the. Okay, so I found it very interesting in this article that it says there's no point in embarking on pet keeping journey half-heartedly. I totally agree with that. I mean, you really want to be in tune to these birds. You want to be in tune because there's different little things I'm learning every day from them. It says whilst canaries and other finches are relatively easy to keep, one of the things I noticed I find very interesting, I'm just going to tell you. When someone walks by the window, they, now, they're okay now, but they will immediately put on a defense chirp. So what I did, you can see I don't have like tons of sunlight coming in, but a good amount of sunlight. What I did was cover like half of the front of the cage. So if they really do need to go up on their perch and go into a hiding, like hide because they're just nervous, that's super important that they have that. So anyway, whilst canaries and other finches are relatively easy to keep, it doesn't mean that they can be placed in the corner of the room and forgotten. Well, this is so true, people. Finches will need daily feeding, plenty of distraction, and something to stimulate their minds. Now, I have got to tell you, I'm just going to keep this on there and read the article. I have never seen such tiny, I didn't have a clue that they were this intelligent. These birds are constantly rearranging the cage. I mean, and they're so aware of everything. Okay, so anyway, back to this. We'll stay on this. So anyway, birds in general, but especially the small birds, they're very fragile. And to be honest, that has me a little nervous because they are fragile. This is something you will need to bear in mind at all times. So things like sudden movements, loud noises, and if you're in an apartment, you're going to get that a little bit, but it shouldn't be overbearing, right? Unless someone's directly trying to do that. So that should not be a huge issue if you're in an apartment. Or even just peering down at the birds from above the cage. Listen to that, are enough to panic. check that out, people. So you could get a parakeet or a parrot, and you probably could look into the cage for a long time and talk to them, and they'd be okay. But the little finches are more sensitive to that. Okay, so even over here, having them in the window, I know that at times this is a little traffic area. So because I'm home, I have them in the window, and I don't work much. I'm going to be honest. I'm out very little. Um, but when I am at work, the curtain is drawn. It's drawn. And it really has to be. You can't take a chance of, because someone might think they're cute and look at them, and it could panic them. Okay, so I'll just keep this on the beautiful little finches while, on little Mashuki and Umi while we're talking. So for those of you who are not sure what Mashuki and Umi mean, Mashuki means rose, finch, and Umi means plum rose, or vice versa. I'm pretty sure yes, that's what they mean. So so it says sudden movements and loud noises we need to be mindful of. Moving their cages around. So this is another thing. And I'm so glad I found this information, because I really did believe moving the cage around was something that they liked. I thought, it's like a stimulation thing, like it's keeping their interest. And this is saying it's the exact opposite. It's very nerve wracking for these little birds. So, and I kind of figured that out pretty quickly, but that was the first thing I thought. So be sure to have a good long-term spot for their cage to be placed. So this spot that they're in, I tested out a few of the windows here, and the window in the kitchen has direct sunlight that gets very, very, very hot, and totally I do not want them in that. You do not want them in the direct sunlight, but you want them in light. So you can see they have, and this will get a little lighter in a couple of hours, and which is very nice. But there can also be traffic here. So I can very easily put down half the curtain and even slide them in a little bit, and not moving them too much. I can change the environment to be just a little more conducive for them. So you want to find a long-term spot. Now at night, I'm going to be honest, I move them away from the window, and I hang them up on their little hanging stand that was given to me by the store, or the lady who sold. She didn't give it to, she practically gave it to me. She sold it to me for very little. So I hang them up on that at night, and I cover it. Now this was the other thing I learned. They do not like to be in complete darkness. So I have a little night light right down underneath their cage, and then I also have a hall light, which I automatically keep on. But I don't have the light so it's shining in their cage. I have the whole cage covered except for a little hole in the back where they can get just enough light if they need to jump down off their perch, they can see. Because birds cannot see if it's dark in their cage. So, panicked birds will move around their cage quickly and sporadically. This could lead them to snagging a leg in the cage or hurting themselves in some other ways. So it says keep them in a situation that is not stressful. Okay, so speaking to them, this is why actually I'm trying to even lower my voice now, because they like a lower voice. And my voice is so loud, and I apologize. But it says keep them, so speak in a soft, calm voice in a way that bonds with them. So now watch this. They like hearing their names. Mashuki, little Mashuki, and Umi. Yeah, what you doing? See how he turned towards me? Yeah, that's Mashuki. So, try speaking to them when they're doing things such as changing their food or water, and I do that all the time. The finches will come to associate your voice with fresh food. Over time, the birds will get used to, see, now you probably just noticed someone walk by. Now, when the person walks by and they keep going, the birds are totally fine. They like to see other birds flying. But if a person stops, that's when they get a little, see how they even moved behind their little curtain? That's why I think it's important to have a little curtain, because, see, when a person walks by, you might see them, no, they're okay. But if they're not okay, they'll go over behind their curtain. So that's all they need. They just need a little place of refuge if they're in quiet. So speaking to them in a soft, calm way helps. And when you're doing things like changing their food and water, over time the birds will get used to your hands, which enables you to sort things out in the cage without them flying around all over the place. After some time, the birds will listen to you speaking and even respond with tweets and chirps. So this is what I'm saying. They do that already. Hi, little Mashuki. Hey, Mashuki and Umi. Yeah. They listen and they respond. If you have someone like in your family, or if you yourself want a little companion, these birds are it. Now, I am very much a lady who loves dogs and cats. I love birds too. But my instinct is to always get a dog. But I lost my dog about 2.5 years ago, and I miss her very, very much, and almost decided to get another little dog. And then I said, well, hear them chirping? They're singing right now. They're responding to the birds outside. So, but anyway, getting these little birds, well, actually they respond to you. That makes a lovely companion. So if you know someone who's a little lonely, or they love animals, but maybe a dog right now or cat is too much, these are lovely. However, it is important that they get cleaned, in my opinion, not just once a day, but you definitely want to tidy them up a little bit at night, because these little guys will get water all over the place. I may have to change the bottom of the cage again. I definitely give them their little bath water 2-3 times a day. But again, it's not an aviary, it's just 2 little finches. So keeping your finches happy. This says, now this is by omelet.us. That's OMLET. Okay, so this says, a suitable sized, well-designed, regularly cleaned cage. And they do know when their cage is clean. So best place in a warm room. They're definitely in a warm room right now. This room is 78. So I got a thermometer because I really wanted to watch the temperature in here, because in Vermont right now we're going up to 80, 82. So I have a little fan going, because they say, I read on another site that ventilation is super important for these guys. Not having the fan blow on them. You don't want to do that, because you do not want to give them a draft, but you want to keep the air flowing, okay? So birds, I mean, you got to figure these birds typically are outside where the air is flowing constantly, right? Birds can also be kept in aviaries. Okay, it says just make sure that it's well built. A varied and well-balanced diet. So we go a little deeper into the diets on this channel, because I personally, when someone gives me one sentence, a well-balanced diet, I'm not sure exactly how much of this and that. And it took me a little research to find out that they actually have to have 50% of the veggies, I'm talking real veggies and real fruits, in addition to their seeds, or you could lose them from without you even knowing that they're not getting enough nutrition, poor nutrition. Okay, so I guess there's some nutrients like supplements out there too, which I want to be careful with, but I'm going to do some research on that and I'll bring you along with me on that. So a stress-free environment, that means no predatory cats, no all-night lights. Now, again, I've seen different views on that. They say they need at least a little night light, but the way I have them set up at night is they have complete darkness in their cage, and then if they want to jump into the light or fly into the light, they can do it. So the reason is all birds get what they call night frights. In other words, if they can't see, they could fall and fly into the sides. But this says no children constantly poking at, oh, I do agree with that. No children poking at the cage. Well, how about no adults constantly poking at the cage? So I would say no poking at the cage. I mean, people do things they don't realize what they're doing sometimes, but that would irritate these little guys for sure. Now, see him flying up and down? That's actually a foraging behavior. Let's see if he does it again. See how they're going kind of, they'll take a little bite and fly up, and then another little bite and fly up. That's foraging. So company can also stress your finches. Interesting. A horizontal cage that's enough for them to fly back and forth is good. So let me just put this back over here to the article for a moment. This says canary and pet finch keeping tips. So it says be sure to buy your birds from a reputable breeder. So I'm going to super agree with that. Where I got these guys, I do believe there was some knowledge from one person, and she was quite wonderful. But the knowledge isn't shared, so depending what day you get there and whatnot, so you definitely want to contact a person. Don't buy a bird that's younger than 8 weeks old. So these little guys were about 3 months. So they were just over 2 months. So they're probably now over 4 months. So they're getting there. If you're looking for a canary that sings, be sure you buy a songbird rather than a color bird. They mean, let's see what they mean. Ones you have been bred with their plumage, in mind rather than their voice. Okay. Also remember that only male canaries will sing. Interesting. Before buying a bird at a pet store, ask how old the birds are. If they don't know, it's probably best not to buy them. Shop birds might have been in the cage on display for a really long time. Birds older than 6 months will be cert in their ways and find it hard to adapt to their surroundings. That's kind of sad, isn't it? I'm going to put this back on them. It's kind of sad that they would, but in another way, they're saying they're basically institutionalized. In other words, but I don't agree with that. If they've been in the store a long time, I think bringing them home and giving them the extra little privileges and extra little toys. Let me tell you what, these guys didn't have any fresh food in their cage. Okay, now I just want to tell you right now in this building, in the back of it, there's a little work going on. There's a little hammering going on. So today through the day, after I get off this video, I'm going to turn up the music. I'm going to talk with them. I'm going to be right here working on my artwork because there's going to be noise. It's going to be at a distance, but they will notice it. Okay, so let's see. If you plan to have two birds together, needs to be a male and female. Otherwise, you will have to put up with constant squabbling. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I believe these are male and female, but only time will tell, honestly. Canaries are the only type of pet finch that can be kept alone. Be sure to feed your birds every day. Well, my goodness, yes. Go easy on the treats. Treats are a different thing. I'm talking vegetables and fruits that they need to eat. Your birds will make a bit of a mess on the cage, usually a combo of seed and husks and feathers, so yeah, you want to clean them. And expect some noise. While finches aren't squawkers, like their parrot counterparts, they still add a lot of background noise. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, as you know, I'm an artist, and some of you may or may not know, but I'm also an author. And I have 2 books that I had to put on hold while I moved up here and got everything settled. And I just went back to editing them. And I knew that these birds would calm me down and help me focus, because I would typically put on a video of birds chirping. So I knew that, but this is amazing. If you're an artist or a writer and you're looking for company, they have the sweetest little chirps and talking and squabbling all day long. So anyway, with that, I just wanted to share a little bit more of this omelet, this site called omelet.us. And I'll come back, and there's a few videos I want to share with you about finches. There's a guy named Dave out there, so I'm going to look him up again. I'll bring him to you, and we can share his video if you're interested in finches at all. You know, they really need a lot of care, and good care, just mindful. I feel like it's mindful, therapeutic care. So anyway, with that, I hope that you have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next one. Love and light.